Well, they all can't be good. There's always a game that comes out every now and then that ends up being a letdown or a disappointment to someone somewhere. Whether it be one's hype that gets in the way or the game's combat and gameplay looks good in trailers, just ends up being a complete mess, or developers not giving a damn and just ends up fucking you up completely. Everyone's got their own opinions on games. Some people might think the game that is widely agreed as crap. Some people might end up liking it, or a game that's universally agreed as good might end up being a disappointment for some. Now, I've played a lot of JRPGs, and these are my most disappointing JRPGs of all time. Time and Eternity. Time and Eternity is a game that I had a lot of hopes for. It used a style that was very unique. It had you actually playing an anime. And it seemed like such a great idea on paper, and in the trailers it looked pretty good. But then as more gameplay of the game showed up, I saw that this game was probably not going to be that good. I honestly remember arguing with somebody in the comments section. Maybe it was my own video of when this game was first released, had a trailer for it, but the person was saying that this game looked like crap, the characters looked stupid and generic, and it looked like cliches. And I was telling that guy, well maybe that's not the case. Maybe the game will actually end up being good if it's done correctly. And when the game finally came out, it ended up being what that guy was saying. It ended up being cliche. It ended up being a really subpar game, less than subpar game. Now, I knew this was the case because as more trailers came out, like I said, I knew the game wasn't going to be that great. And then when it finally was released in the West, I saw no hurry to go out and get it. I knew that the game was half-assed. It was bare bones. Because from what I honestly can remember is that when the game was first announced in Japan, a trailer first came out for it, they said the game was like 60% completed, and that the game would be out within the year that the trailer first came out. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that with a game like this that has animations for its gameplay, that you need a lot of animations for this. You need a lot of time for this to actually end up working. And from the time span that the game was 60% completed and it's going to be out within the same year, I knew that this game wasn't going to be that great. I just wish that this game had more development behind it, more development time behind it, and that maybe it just wasn't rushed out just so the developers can experiment with this kind of gameplay type. And I really do wish that sometime maybe down the line that they actually end up making another game like this, but make sure it has proper development time and make sure it's polished, because it ends up using the same animations over and over again for attacks, and it just ends up looking out of place for everything. Number 4, Artanelico Quoga. I really didn't have much hype for this game. I just knew that it was coming from a game that I played and that was good. Artanelico 2 was really good. I haven't played the first Artanelico game, but I thought that, since I played Artanelico 2, going to the third game in the series, it would actually be good. But this game just ends up being a standard subpar just game. And you coming from a game that has great combat, great turn-based combat, this game ends up being a poor man's Tales of battle system, and it just ends up being, just crap for more or less. And then the game ends up using the PS3 controller's motion sensing, in that you have to shake the controller in order to make a attack or a skill happen. It's just not implemented well, and it's just to use the gimmick of the PS3 controller at the time. And then to make matters worse, the game just relishes in fan service, and it was what was it? I can't remember right now. The less clothes that the heroine, the girls have on, the stronger storm magic they can release. It was just embodiment of fan service done in the lowest possible degree. I mean, like, seriously, it was just stupid. Don't get me wrong, guys. I like fan service in my game as much as the next guy, but seriously, when it's done this blatant, this in your face, it's just like, you just question why. Like, really, why? Everything else about the game, the story was actually it was pretty good from what I can remember. And the music was good. The hymnals especially was really good. The graphics subpar at best. This is like what NIS game. The graphics are always subpar. But yeah, the combat really let me down in this regard. And coming from Arch Analytical 2, when the combat was really, really good, and it just uses this completely watered down Tales of battle system, is disappointing, more or less. Mind Zero. This is actually a more recent game that I played that was very disappointing in, because I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It's just a complete copy of Persona 4, and it's trying to be what Persona 4 was, and it just ends up being a complete boring game out the gate. I mean, seriously. I probably could have dealt with this game on some levels, but the music just put me to sleep. The battle system was good. No lie, I did like the battle system. I really did like the battle system, but it's just that it was boring. I don't know how that even works. It was boring. Maybe if the battle system actually had a good battle theme playing, it could actually kept me into the game. But more or less, it was just boring. It was good, but it was boring. I don't know how that works, but it just does in this case. The characters were all just copy and paste from Persona 4. I mean, if you're gonna copy something, do it right. Try to make it interesting. Try to put your own little twist on it. Don't just blatantly copy the game and then just expecting it to be good. The only good part that came from me playing this game was that I got it at a reduced price when it first came out. I think the game was like $40. It's nowhere near worth $40. I think I got it for like maybe $25. I'm not sure. I think it was less than 30. I'm not sure. But Mind Zero just ends up being a huge disappointment. And it might be further fueled for me because at the time I had just came from playing a really good dungeon crawler, Demon Gaze, and I really liked that game, even though it was kind of one of the most hardest JRPGs I ever played. And then coming to this just borefest craptasticness, it just let me down even further. So yeah, I don't recommend Mind Zero at all. There are plenty of other Vita games out there that are just better. Final Fantasy 13. Oh my god, where do I even start with this one? The linear hallway that it is, the convoluted mess of a story, the what else? The simplistic nature that they made, the dumbed downness they made, save points everywhere, holding your hand leveling up system, holding your hand battle system, everything about Final Fantasy 13 completely disappointed me. I know there are people out there that honestly liked it, but me, oh no, this game to me was supposed to be the savior for JRPGs, but to put JRPGs back on the map, and they pretty much are since the game's release. But still, the fact of the matter is this game, it didn't deliver in my eyes at all, and then it spawned sequels that nobody asked for. Nobody was clamoring at the bit to get these sequels. Lightning Returns, 13. Nobody cared. Nobody honestly cared for this enough. There was not that much fair response for this, but Square Enix just said, you know what, we're gonna give it to them anyway. But I don't want to get too deep into Final Fantasy 13 because that's just a video for another day, a video that I already did, and yeah, that's just that can just go on and on for days. But Final Fantasy 13, just a complete and utter disappointment. My god, just oh my god. Only redeeming factor in my eyes about Final Fantasy 13 was the graphics. I mean, I would love to see JRPGs have more graphical power like Final Fantasy 13, but of course this had Square Enix backing it, so we will never ever see a JRPG that has this levels of production value to put into it. But it would be so nice for a JRPG to have, you know, really good production values and the graphics to be really stellar like this. But yeah, moving on. Magna Cara 2. Oh my god, this game. This game, oh man, this is a game that just came out at the time where JRPGs were just so secluded and just so drenched in cliches, subparness, and this game just relished in that. It just breathed averageness, and I swear to God, it just didn't care. from the moment the opening cutscenes happened in the beginning to the middle to the end, I called this game spade for spade. To the betrayals, to the main character who had amnesia in the beginning, I ended up calling what exactly his end game was, and it was completely uninspired, unoriginal, and I swear the developers, the writers just didn't care. Okay, this game was just... oh my god. I remember how I felt when I played this game years back. I mean, I think this game came out in 2008. I remember the frustrations I had with this game when it first came out. The gameplay itself, the battle system, wasn't that bad, but it was indeed a button masher. It had mechanics that you just didn't use. There was the ultimate arts, the ultimate skills that you can use, but ended up not being needed because normal attacks did just as good as damage. Ah, man, I really wanted to like this game because I came from the first Magna Cara. While the first Magna Cara wasn't, that great, it was a decent to good game. I was expecting this game to be the same way. This game just ends up being crap, for more or less. It just ends up being crap. And I really like the design, the character designs, and the artists that is used for this game. His art is just amazing. He draws voluptuous, impossible women, but it looks really good. In the game Blade and Soul, which is an online MMO game, I hope it's released sometime soon in the West, maybe in English, hopefully. Who knows when that's going to happen. But his art style is really prevalent there, and here it's good, but it's just wasted. It's completely and utterly wasted on this game and its story and its battle system. Huge disappointment, Magna Cara 2. And number 1, White Knight Chronicles, or as I've come to call it, White Trash Chronicles. This game. I had hype for this game when it first came out because I believe this was one of the first JRPGs that was being released on the PS3, and the trailers made it look good, the gameplay made it look great, all the stuff surrounding it made it look like a good game. Just that when you actually got the game and actually started playing it, it was just like the menus was just, like the screen was just overrun with menus and stuff. It just looked cluttered and it just looked stupid. And the battle system was like an MMO, but it was boring. It was completely and utterly boring. The story was lacking, and then the character creation system was it was bad. This game was touted as being one of the good games that was coming out on the PS3 when it first was released, and it just ended up being crap. I believe there was 3 games planned to be in the series, but they stopped after 2 because it was just received horribly. And I think maybe the 3rd game actually might have been released on the PSP. I'm not sure, but the fact you went to the PS3 and didn't go to the PS3 when your first 2 games are on one system, yeah, kind of tells you something there. But yeah, White Knight Chronicles, I just remember I am having a lot of hopes for this game. I think I ended up trading the game in like 2 or 3 days after I got it. No, I ended up just returning it outright to GameStop. I went into GameStop. I told the guy there that this game just sucked. It was crap. It made me sick, physically ill. And I just got my money back for the game. Actually, I think it was also touted as being a spiritual successor to the Dark Cloud series, which just no. So yeah, guys, those are my top 5 most disappointing Japanese role-playing games. You guys might have found some of these games fun, and that's cool and everything, but to me, they were just ending up being disappointments. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know what your most disappointing JRPGs are. And that's it. Follow me on Twitter if you feel like it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.